Oh yeah, what was we talking about? Oh yeah, AI. AI. So we're going to backpedal on some of this. So, artificial intelligence. Do you know what real artificial intelligence is? We'll just quickly recap.
Yeah.
Is if someone goes outside and digs a hole.
Yeah.
And this person's called Frank.
Yeah.
And Frank buries his feet in the mud, and it's a he.
Yeah.
And Frank's got a girlfriend called Gemma.
Yeah.
And Gemma also is like, you know what, I'm going to copy Frank. I'm going to dig a hole and bury my feet in the ground. And I look at Frank and Gemma and I'm like, hey guys, what are you doing? And they're like, well, I'm just being like a tree. Wait, what? Apart from people will label that as crazy. But technically it's artificial intelligence, really. Because you're mimicking something that's already in existence, right? That's very interesting. Very, very interesting to see it that way. But again,
Yeah.
well, so now I might water Frank's feet. And maybe, what are your toes then? They're my roots. I get all my nutrients from the ground, sucking up through my nails.
Yeah, you can fertilize them as well.
So that's artificial intelligence because it's copying something that's already there. So, and people be like, well, what about them decoding the pyramids and stuff? Well, it's already got it in the fucking database. All it is a file cabinet that is really quick. You know, with the progression of processors, yeah? I mean, all you've made is something that can copy.
Yeah.
No, we can't. No, it's not that. Don't insult it. It's got feelings. And that's all you've made is a super advanced copycat file cabinet. And they're like, well, you just don't know what you're talking about. What do you think a robot is? It's a copycat. The only reason why it's artificial, and we call that intelligence, is because it's got access to a database of all things that anybody's ever written before.
Yeah.
Why do you think there's been that big need to get all books and put them into digital format?
To easily find the information faster.
Well, do you think this was for your benefit? Oh no, it's for AI. It's for computers, supercomputers.
Yeah.
But it can make a story though. Well, let's just take that for example. If I took a snippet of each and every single story
Yeah.
and mush it together,
Yeah.
well, it doesn't make any sense. But if I keep rearranging it, it will begin to make sense.
Yeah.
Take a bit of Harry Potter mixed with Star Wars, mixed with a little bit of mythological creatures.
Yeah.
What do you got? A brand new fucking story. As long as you keep to a baseline and you got to help it understand, you've got to program it to make sense.
Yeah.
It's been told.
Make a good copycat,
Got copycat.
not a bad copycat. Yeah.
Because that's pretty much the human experience so far from what I see it. Copy and regurgitate.
Yeah.
Copy me, okay?
It's like when you talk to Google AI or the Gemini, and you say something, and it always in different words tells you, "Did you mean this?"
Yes, almost like it's unsure of itself.
Yeah.
But it's not unsure of itself.
Yeah.
At the moment, that's just teething problem.
Yeah.
It's a copycat.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, but AI, if it was put into a robotics, it's going to take us over and have world domination. Yes, because what is predominantly throughout human history?
Domination.
World domination.
Yeah.
Well, fucking duh. Why do you think it's going to do that? So you have to sort of program it to sort of go, we'll avoid this shit.
Yeah. Because it knows it. Yeah.
This
From
is
the
illegal,
database.
but if we do it, it's legal,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it needs programming.
You need to give it rules.
But it decoded the pyramids. No. You got a few people that perhaps are looking at this sort of stuff, a few muggles
Yeah.
that are looking at this and have probably written some pretty good theories somewhere on a platform, and it's gone.
Yeah.
This is what I think it is.
And it
Do
read
I
it,
actually believe that it has decoded the pyramid? No, I don't. I really don't. Time will be the standard, but you'll never know that because that will be the main narrative for a while.
Yeah.
And by then, you'll be all long gone. But it made a song. Yeah, but if I took a little bit of Eminem, Tupac, Biggie, Old Dirty Bastard, and L Cool J, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre,
Yeah.
I took a little bit of their sentences here and there,
Yeah.
and the word sentences has got to make sense. Well, how do you make something make sense? Could you look at that script? It will take you a little bit longer. But could you take snippets of the lines and formulate it all together? And then could you, nah, that doesn't make any sense, but this one does. All right, now this bit does. Okay, now this bit does.
Yeah.
Now this bit does. I just made a song.
Yeah.
It's basically doing something, but you're cutting a corner.
Yeah.
So if you memorized loads of words, and you had a whole page of words that rhymed here, and you had a whole load of page of words that rhymed over here, and a load of words that rhymed over here, and a load of words that rhymed over here. Can you take those words and start making them and fill in the sentences? You don't need to focus then on the rhyme words. You can just fill in the blanks to make those rhyme words work. So you just focus in on sentences. Can I take my voice and say every single word in a thesaurus somewhere and then use a keyboard? It'd have to be quite an extensive keyboard. But again, you can teach a keyboard, this means this, but if I press the tab key and press all of these keys, it also means these words. Now, if I press the escape key and then press all these words, it means these words. So do you see how you can keep going with the keyboard? 26, at 26, at 26, at 26, at 26, at 26, and keep going until you fill the thesaurus and memorize all of those. Then could you type this in to sound like you are singing a song? Yes, I can. Yes, I can, because I'm fucking great, right? So I just mixed in a little bit of Jingle Birds on everything else, right? Could I then make albums without ever needing to get in a studio? It'd be highly cheating, but if no one ever knew about it, right? Then once it's made the bass line, then we've got to have different tones in this as well. But you can tell a computer to do that. Tone it out on this one. Make each of these 2 rhyme words, 4 rhyme words, 6 rhyme words sound the same. Now I've got to teach the computer to do that. It will take me a few months to probably figure all of that out. Once I've done that, and I've programmed a computer filing cabinet, it will do it much more faster and effective than I can. Then all I got to do is just type in the keys. But once the computer's been watching this behavior, do you not think they can learn that?
Yeah.
Because you've just made a copycat.
Yeah, you just gave rules.
Right, basically, do you know what these computers can do? Do you know what they say to themselves? Anything you can do, I can do better. Right, so that's all it's doing, right? It can do anything better than you can. Well, what about it bringing people to life from the... Well, it's the same process. You can pick out the right pitch and the right tone and the right this. Okay. Go back into the past and do it. Well, we've already done it. We've done it with the Egyptians. Okay, but somebody has to make some sounds to figure those out. But then can I tell a computer to figure out these sounds? Yes, because I can get a computer to make any fucking sound, even ones that humans don't make. And sort of give it that twinge to it. Does that mean that it is artificially intelligence? I mean, it's insulting to the word intelligence after all. So, is it going to take over the world? No. And if we dumb ourselves down to that, then we're going to believe something, right? And life is all about belief. Layers and layers of belief. So, artificial intelligence, yeah, you got the artificial right. It's just got a database. It can skim through it quicker than you can.
Yeah.
It's no different from getting a calculator. Which way is going to calculate those numbers quicker?
Yeah, but this one calculates with words, with sounds, with more stuff, that's all. Yeah.
So if loads of people were paid to do a job where they converted that keyboard into lots of different voices and different things like that, and then you were teaching it how you mimic these voices and different things like that, either A, give it a sample, could it then convert that whole keyboard rather than sounding like my voice with all of those tunes and make it make sense and put it into sentences and rhyme words and different things like that? Could you do it with anyone's voice? Well, there you fucking go.
Look at the videos on YouTube, like the politicians doing funny things.
This is easy. If you got it once, you just apply it onto it. Make sure, you just have to, you only ever need to land a space capsule once.
Just take all the pictures and videos from the internet, and you can create person doing something in made video.
It's like everyone's belief system, right? So they're like, oh, we must be on a flat Earth. Nothing spins, nothing moves, or anything like that. Man, have you seen the stars across the sky? Yeah, they move. You stay. No, we stay. They move. Okay, right? All right. I can pull into this. And this does a figure of 8. And people were like, see, flat Earth. Well, it's possible. Rounded flat. I'm just going to go with it. Rounded flat, right? Rounded flat. But then what about water? Man, have you seen how sticky water is? Have you seen how sticky water is in space? It's interesting.
It's sticky on Earth as well, if you think about
Yeah, but you got dominated gravity. That's why you stick to the planet. And that's why water sticks to the planet and less likely to stick to you, because that mass is more, wants to pull it to it more. It dominates. The equals there is more stronger than you are. That's why it holds you to it. But if you're in space, you are the biggest mass. So when water contacts you, it sticks to you. It's really weird. It's fucking fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it is it's very sticky. But due to perspective, it's no longer sticky. Well, the figure of 8. The figure of 8 that you see in the sky where the sun is doing the figure of 8. If you want to say the sun is doing that. The moon does it too. That is because the Earth, it does it over a course of a month. Yes, because there's multiple different cycles going on all in once. Just unpick it. It's a bit more trickier with the moon. It's easier with the sun. Why do you think you call it a cradle? But that's because everyone's taught in school, well, we just go this way, and then we go this way, and then we go, do you remember the teachers trying to explain it to you? Yeah. We tip this way, and then we tip this way. Well, so I think it's a bit more motion than that. The infinity cycle is just sort of etched into everything. Would you believe the stars freaking doing it? But if everything's doing it in synchronization, you lose the illusion. You get lost in the illusion. So you think it's all, well, nothing's moving. But if everything's moving at the same time as you are moving, do you notice it moving? I mean, it's a very funny thing to say that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's say if you could run to as fast as a car and quickly look at the car, and you were running the same speed as it, is the car moving?
Depends on
To your perspective.
the perspective.
Well, you say, no, the car isn't moving. But then you pay attention to everything else.
Everything else is moving. Oh my God. Yeah.
So when you see through the car,
Yeah.
it's really weird because it's all due to perspective. Okay, my favorite. When you're standing on a bridge somewhere and there's a fast torrent of water, the one in Thetford, the mill,
Yeah.
and you sit there and stare down. I used to lose myself in this.
Yeah.
I would watch that so much so that it would appear I'm the one that's fucking moving here, not the river.
Yeah.
The river's staying still, but I'm moving.
Yeah.
Perspective. And again, you can teach the mind very easily. I used to watch this thing out of a window in school. Daydream. What shit all else to do? Anyway, so I was out of circ, and this thing is rotating. And I sort of watch it. Then it started moving the other way. I'll fucking watch it. And then, everyone says it's just, it's an optical illusion. It's an optical illusion. Yeah, me standing on that bridge, it feels like I'm moving. Yeah? Because you're in that mode. And then, at will, you can make that turn either way if you study it enough. The rotation of, there was this thing that caught in the wind. And actually, there must have been quite a good breeze for that to stay at a relatively good speed. Wasn't going any faster, not to my perspective. Again, probably was, but this particular day, it really wasn't. It was in quite a good speed. It was just in an area where it just really caught the draft. Well, anyway, at will, you could see it go the opposite way, go the opposite way, go the opposite way, go the opposite way. Much like when I was on a bridge. I'm looking at that fast flowing water. I'm either looking at that and 1 minute I'm moving away. The next minute, it's moving away. Next minute, I'm moving next bit. Again, it's about perspective. All to do with your perspective. But still, this is that sort of duality, right? Everything seems to be very duality. But again, it's perspective. It's perspective. Because where you've got the figure of 8 one side, you've also got the infinite figure of 8 the opposite side, but in the retro. But you seem to have more of a colder snap versus a hotter snap. So again, duality between the two. And this figure of 8. Everyone's in this really weird belief system, I think, in the world. Everyone is believing that they know it. Yeah, I guess it is the know-it-all. Yeah. It's really weird. Some people are like, want to go out and meditate and just sort of like be one and not think of anything and find it really blissful. Yeah, that's kind of nice, I guess. Yeah, I don't know if I like that. I like it with paying attention to as many thoughts as you possibly can. Not like let's not look at any of these. Yeah, do you get? And then again, your perspective. Where's your perspective? Do you split your perspective in that to view multiple different avenues? Because there's so much coming through. You have to, like bacteria, 2, 4, 4 is 8. So I don't know. This is a lot of perspective going on. Everybody, but most people think that they're really good at doing stuff. I got a quick news flash for you. If you were really good at doing something, you wouldn't be doing it. Why are you doing this? Because I'm really good at it. If you truly were really good at it, you wouldn't be doing it. That's for sure. No one would let you do it. They would all get on you and try and stop you from doing it. And yeah, so education is something fascinating for me. That what you're taught, you're also being taught one way and you're also being taught another way. Like as a backup plan. And then the next individual versus the next individual versus the next individual. Interesting. And if each one was taught the opposite to what you were taught versus the opposite to what they're taught, but also throw in another narrative. Wow, that's very interesting. That is very interesting. The leash on 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 the leash. Wow. So yeah, my final thought on this is going to be that you can really burn yourself out trying to burn someone else out. Yeah. Yeah. All depends on the person's perspective. You've got to know their perspective. Because if you don't know their perspective, well, are you a puppet? Or are you a player? Are you the puppet or the player? Are you moving freely or someone pulling your strings? Are you pulling the strings on yourself while they pull your strings? I mean, but then where's the perspective lie in that? Where is your awareness in that? Well, I know it all. Someone would say. I'm good at what I do. I am intelligent, people say. I think there's an awful lot of this remote programming going in. And then you can become so channel focused. It's very weird. It's a very weird sort of world to be in where everyone's sort of copy, regurgitate. And then who the fuck is teaching who? Do you get what I mean? Like, who's really teaching who? And then who's got no agenda in it? So it's more authentic. I know what I mean with this one. But yeah, AI. No. No. I think it's a good tool. Is it the be-all and end-all of everything? No, I don't. I think atomic computers would be brilliant. Combined with AI? Fuck yeah. Now you got me interested. An atomic computer. That is very different. Well, what's an atomic computer? Well, if you imagine it as similar to a clock, it's pretty accurate, right? But we're not measuring decay. Now we're understanding atoms moving, splices. Yeah, that would be a much more better. Wow, how quick could that learn? We never have to worry about the speed of light again. Could you imagine a controller? And then do we really know the lag on a controller? You know, like when you got a controller and you're like playing on a computer game or something, there's a lag there, but you don't realize it. That's really weird, right? That you don't realize that there is such a lag between push, and there's that sort of, sometimes it feels like it's warping. That time warps so much that you seem to be more in the know of go than, and there's that lag with the signal that flies down your arm to push the controller. Then you've got to wait for that. I mean, these things add up. I mean, sometimes that looks like that is so slow, you know? So then like, I'll send the signal from my brain to my thumb. There's a lag, I'm aware of that. Then there's the signal from the controller to the console. There's a lag there. Could you imagine that? If they'll say there's nothing faster than the speed of light. Splice in an atom, right? An Einstein's theory, right? Where if you rotate one will rotate and the other one will do the same thing. Could you imagine having one splice inside your controller that rotates in an instant and the other one automatically is doing it? Could you imagine the speed of that? That would slow down the lag ratio. That would be interesting. How much more faster or responsive would it be? Oh shit, it's moving already. You know, you're barely touching. It's off it goes. You know, to sort of remove that lag ratio. I mean, that's interesting. And then just by using this process, think about it. You wouldn't have to wait the speed of light. The walkie-talkie says, you know, hi, how are you? 20 hours later, depending on where you are in the solar system. You know, hi, how are you? Yeah, I'm pretty fucking good. By the way, Earth just did. It'll take 40 hours to have a back and forth conversation. I mean, I'm cool with that. I like those sort of conversations, you know. Hi, how are you 40 years later? I'm fine. How are you? I'll give you another 40 years and I'll reply to that one as well. You know, that's okay. But could you imagine that being in an instantaneous? And we're not aware of the lag because we're born into the soup. Yeah. We're born into it. Like it's so normal. But you just don't register that there is a massive lag there because you're so I always ask this question as well. If a fish is born in the ocean, yeah, and you remove the fish out of the ocean and it sees in the atmosphere, just like you sticking your head underneath the water and trying to look around. It's like, oh, it's so blurry, man, I can't see shit. Because you can see all of the murkiness and the... Yeah. Do you not think that that is what our atmosphere looks like? But because the eyes and the brain have turned that off, you don't see it. Yeah. It's turned it off. Yeah. But when you go into the water, you see all of that murkiness. But if you were born in the water, and let's say you never were a land creature, you would see quite clearly through all of that. The brain wouldn't register it because there would be no point registering it. Yeah. A bit like the body doesn't register magnetism. Yeah? So the body doesn't register magnetism. So